Yay, thank you so much, Trouble, and welcome to the LEC post-game lobby where I'm joined by a jungler duo here, Jankos and Broxah. Jankos, thank you very much for joining us. Happy birthday. We're going to spare you the song as we did before. And,
thank you for that as well.
Yeah. how does the birthday win feels, and especially the comeback against PDS this week?
I mean, I'm very happy, right? But our early game is off, as we could see in game 1 and game 1 yesterday and today. So there's many things to fix for next week if we want to have a chance at making the championship split. And all of this is for nothing if we don't at this point, right? So I wanted my vacation, but now that we are that far, might as well just, actually go to Worlds.
What do you think is going wrong in the early games? Like, what's leading to you guys either messing up or playing really slow? Because it's very different than what you used to play like on G2, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think my laners are just really bad. Obviously, jungle is great, but if my laners can't play, then, it just sucks.
Yeah, so I'm on board with that.
That is what I think, at least. I mean, if anyone thinks otherwise, I like my opinion more. So they can just keep their opinion to themselves.
Do you manage to get your opinion through? Like, do they listen to you? Or is it like just a bunch of kids doing whatever they want?
I mean, when we do team reviews, I always just say, like, look, what you have to do here is just win. Why don't you just win?
Yeah, just click better.
Yeah, just win.
Easy.
That's pretty giga chat for sure.
How do you rate the improvements of Heretics over the course of the last week? Having to prep for the same opponents, basically, how did you pinpoint what you guys needed to work on to be ready today?
I mean, there's many things, right? But I feel like something that we struggled with last week against BDS is we kind of lost our minds after game 2. Like, game 1 was like fine, and in game 2 we had a little bit tough draft, perhaps, and then we lost that game. And in game 3 we like sprinted it so hard, like our macro was like so bad, it was disgusting. But I don't think it's because we are clueless. I think it was more because of stress and just like, again, losing our minds. So we try to stay composed and work on, playing from behind, for example, but also just focusing on the game plan and understanding our team composition. I think that these things we improved on, and we could see during the weekend, I think.
And you mentioned stress, but I mean, even losing last week, you knew that you would have a chance to play again this week. So how about the stress coming into this match, knowing that you would face elimination and also be out of playoffs contention?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, been there, done that.
Yeah, right?
I'm kind of old, right? So for an esports player, so I just feel like I was in a similar scenario last year with FLICKR as well, right?
Yeah.
Where we lost the first BO 3 or 5 against Fnatic, I think BO 5, and then we like clashed it and 3-0'd everyone in Spring Split. And I feel like this is very similar, where if our backs are against the wall, it's way more exciting and it's more fun. But at the same time, if it's easier to see your flaws when you actually lose. And I think we still are. We have many things to improve on. I mean, again, you can see our early games, we struggle, or sometimes our team fights are still not very clean, but I think we are getting there,
How do you think it's going to come against Fnatic in playoffs? Because you're going to be facing off against them. Maybe we can... Oh, we have the groups here. Yeah, so we see the opposition.
Yeah,
so about
I mean,
the next game. And what's your understanding of Fnatic after the first
My understanding of Fnatic, I mean, they were kind of bad, like against SK last week, but we were also kind of bad against SK, against BS last week. So I think they improved a lot. I think their meta understanding is actually good now. And besides that, I feel like all of them feel way more confident. I also think Oscarian has been like kind of smurfing this week.
Yeah.
And I also believe that Razork, yeah, okay.
Perfect.
He was also playing way better, and Humanoid was like playing better, blah, blah, blah. So I think all of them stepped up a lot. They had a little bit of a struggle game 2, but it's like they were ahead and then they threw. So unlike us, who are like behind and we claw our way back. So I mean, it's gonna be a banger BO5. I'm also happy it's a BO5 because I just want to play more games.
Is your prep going to be any different, you think, going into Razork compared to going into today's series?
Oh.
That's actually hard to say. I think that not that much, I think. I think both junglers, I wouldn't say they're similar because I think two teams have different styles. And I just feel like Fnatic has a better teamfight understanding. But when it comes to early game and pathing and what Razor does to his team, it's not special, but it's very good, right? Like, he has very good game understanding. He moves on the map well. He's an aggressive player that, can play mechanically very well. So I wouldn't say that I need to prepare specifically for him. I would rather say that we need to prepare as a team for the game.
Yeah, focus on your game. I mean, mostly you know what you guys need to improve upon. I want to follow up on something you said earlier, being old, blah, 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 and all these topics. There's a misconception I feel in League of Legends with the fact that you need to be young and to stay young to play the game at the highest level. And when we look at you, I mean, that's clearly a lie for me. You outlasted everyone, mostly. It's fine. Your job is safe, man. Yeah. You didn't get eliminated. Your job is safe for now. But yeah, how do you reflect on the on your not on your career, but the fact that you have been able to stay at the top of your game for so long and hopefully for many more years to come?
I mean, I just really feel like all I'm doing is League, right? And a good example would be FLICKR. Just hear me out, okay? I'm not comparing myself
How is
to
your hands?
FLICKR. But basically, FLICKR is out of T1, right? And T1 is performing way worse. And he's kind of the leader of the team. And he's a great player as well. And he's the GOAT. And he has been like out there for many, many years winning worlds. So you can see how big of an impact he has for his team, considering now the other mid laners playing, right? So I wouldn't compare myself to FLICKR because I didn't win Worlds 3 times and, he's just really insane. But at the same time, I can be useful in other ways than, let's say, hitting Nidalee Spears because that clearly doesn't work for me. So
I mean, it didn't work back then either, but yeah.
It's just,
Sorry.
oh, wow.
No, it's your birthday. I shouldn't do this.
No, it's fine. Just kick me. Just kick me.
I was about to say it's just zoning spears, right? It's planned. They don't understand.
Because again, it's about, like you mentioned, understanding the game. So
Yeah.
if they cannot go there, it's good for my team. So it's all about, like the tactician mindset of like throwing Q exactly there to not hit it.
That's what I'm thinking. I also think something that's really underrated in League esports compared to traditional sports is that having someone like Jankos or another Amne on your team, a veteran who brings leadership, can be really important because in traditional sports, players often peak at the end of their 20s because all of a sudden, like Jankos mentioned earlier, like being in this situation today, it doesn't matter. He's done it 100 times. And being able to have someone who's always going to be stable, know what are the condition, who can share some of the wisdom with the other players and really, guide them, makes such a massive difference nowadays.
Would you agree on this? I mean, I know
Completely,
VTO was
I'm
mentioning
1v9.
this as well.
I mean, of course, I would agree. I mean, look at this team. Like, how can we possibly play without me? I mean, look at them. Like, FLICKR and VTO in the same team.
A bunch of headless chicken, and you have to, get control over them.
Yeah, need to micromanage.
Who's the most improved player of this Heretics lineup? Under your guidance, of course, because
Under my guidance,
you did everything.
Who's the most improved player? I mean, I think I improved a lot, actually, in a way. Like, to be a different human while still maintaining my stupid humor. But gameplay-wise, I think FLICKR, compared to like last year G2, I think he's way more vocal and he's actually has many good ideas. Something that he was more like the listening voice last year, but now he's like one of the main speakers. I think Mersa also improved throughout the year a lot. I think he has way better game understanding. I think Vincent is trying. He's trying to improve, but
he's a kid, man. I know.
Yeah, he's a kid. I know.
Yeah.
Like he's 8 years younger than me, I think, which is like mega crazy. But yeah, I mean, Vincent is. I also think his game understanding is improving. I also think he has very good. He brought a lot of good ideas. Many drafts we are playing right now is because of him, so I want to give him some credit. But there are still some things he has to work on. And Evie, of course, right? He received a lot of hate, I would say, or rather
you can definitely
criticism.
Say hate.
From the community for his in games, which happened. It's true. Like he was inting some games, but I also think that so far in playoffs, or this week at least, he stepped up a lot, and he has been playing very, very good. And I feel like for someone who came from Japan and doesn't have the best language understanding, many times when he dies, it could be due to like communication or due to him just not knowing what his team wants him to do, or us not following because we don't understand him, right? But that, of course, gets better throughout the year. And I just feel like this week he has been performing insanely well.
How is it something you can work around, actually, the language barrier? Is it like giving like short sentences to communicate? Or do you have, I don't know, to dumb it down when you explain or you want to set a place? So how do you work with someone who doesn't speak English as a native language?
Yeah, I think it's both, right? I think that you need to explain the game and you need to all, like in the review after games, during practice, you want to review the game and you want to talk about the things we should do as a team, right? So all of us have the same understanding of the game, but also trying to keep it short, trying to keep it simple, having phrases that mean the same thing always, so that, communication is clear and there's not too much clutter in the game, because when you watch team fights from like the best Asian teams, they actually don't talk that much. They use a lot of pings and they just play good with their hands. We can't do that. We are too boosted. So we need to like speak. But we can speak a little bit less and focus on our game as well.
All right. Well, if you guys had hopes for Europe at Worlds, I think after this one you don't. But let's see the teams who qualified in playoff last week, as we will kick off the playoffs tomorrow with G2 and XL. From top 10 back-to-back to making top 3 and G2 staying the consistent beast they were all year. Broxah, what do you think of this matchup and the obstacle that XL is going to have, most likely?
I think it's going to be a massive challenge for XL coming into the series versus G2, who has won so many games in a row, who's been looking so dominant, and who, most importantly, has threats in every position. They're almost impossible to draft against in this meta, and, anyone can carry at any time. So it's going to be a really tough one.
You're in XL shoes, Jankos. What do you do?
If I'm in Excel shoes, I think that I try to wait, should I talk about it? Because we might play them in the final.
Maybe not give out everything, but
okay,
let's say how do you expect?
G2 is obvious, right? They don't do anything special. I think that they are just solid laners and a very good jungler, which, makes you win in Europe because you don't need more than that if you have very good players. But I would say that the way they draft and the way I think they have many flexes now, which helps them, I think, a lot. But if you bank correctly and force them on a more standard meta, they are just like any other team. I think that what they do very well is just they are quick decision makers and they are very smart around their side waves, and they also have very good meta understanding and teamfight understanding. And teamfight understanding comes a lot from MSI because they actually improved a lot during MSI for the teamfights. And I think they understand tempo better than last year as well. So there's a lot of things that I like what they do, but they are not doing it to a high enough level to not be beatable.
Okay.
That was very humble. I thought you were just going to say something like, no Jankos, no win, or whatever.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we had enough. The humility is back here. But guys, I want to remind you that playoffs next week are going to start on Friday with this guy playing against Fnatic. You gave us your first impressions of the matchup. Broxah, how do you think this one's going to go?
I think it really depends on what Fnatic we're going to see, as well as, Heretics, how they manage to fix their early game, especially. Because
Jankos is going to fix everything, it's fine.
Because Fnatic last week looked really bad. This week they looked really dominant. I think Heretics, we've also seen both good and bad sides. And ultimately, I think both teams are going to rely a lot on early game going the right way. Controlling Razorg is going to be...
That sucks for us.
Controlling Razorg is going to be one of the challenges for the likes of Heretics and Jankos, I feel like. But if they manage to do that, I think they are going to be in a really good spot, because almost every play that Fnatic makes is through that jungler.
It's an important match, especially given the fact that the winner locks season finals, the loser is eliminated, go on holidays, go on vacation. Jankos, you were saying, might as well just make it to Worlds now, so...
True. We also, I think, made Perks stay home. I think Vitality is out, right? So I'm sorry for that. I love Perks. He's a very nice guy. But I want to make Worlds.
All right. Well, yeah, do it for him. We'll
I will do it for him too.
And speaking of season finals, that's what we just said. Vitality is no longer in contention for season finals. Massive disappointment, I want to say, when you consider the lineup and how it was built. Broxah.
Yeah, I think it's showing time and time again at this point that you can build something that on paper looks like a super team, but you need players that actually function together, that have, specific roles, so you can build an identity. And there seems to be so many, clashes on Vitality, things going wrong, not being able to actually play as a team most of all. And at this level, when everyone's so good individually, if you cannot build a cohesive team, you just can't win in the LEC.
How do you reflect, Jankos, on the failures of Vitality? If you can have, having been in many teams environments, not to blame any player, of course, that's not the point, but why did this group not work?
I think Broxah touched on it very well, right? Yeah. I just think that you need to be a team, and they didn't look like one throughout the year. They also changed players in the bot lane at the beginning, then in the jungle. And I know the struggle of playing with international players, it's not always that simple to communicate well on the highest level, especially during peak stress games when everyone is trying to talk fast, and again, it's not your first language, right? So I'm not certain how well would they do if they would keep this roster that they had for the last week, and I know for a fact that they were screaming and preparing.
Yeah, they were.
But yeah, I I mean,
sad.
sucks, you know, like
Yeah.
it sucks.
I mean, yeah, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser, of course. For a competition, you were a winner today. So again, congratulations on that. And thank you also for joining us
Thank you.
in PGL. We'll see you next week. Next Friday, reminder, for the following of playoffs here. Broxah, thank you also. That was a great all jungle PGL here. As it is tradition, we're going to take the selfie.
Of course.
And we will see you tomorrow for the beginning of playoffs summer. I'm going to do this now, and then I'll say goodbye to you guys. Awesome, thank you. And yeah, thank you all for watching tonight. We'll kick off the summer split playoffs tomorrow.
Thank you.
G2 Esports facing off against Excel in the upper bracket.
Thank you again.
Okay, you want to read this maybe? And
Okay, I can read it.
Oh,
right.
this is going to be great.
With G2 Esports facing off against Excel in the upper bracket for a spot in the summer final. Mwah! You cannot miss this. See you then. Kisses.
yeah, I'm
10 out of 10.
unemployed now. Thank you. Thanks, Jankos.
Oscar in 110 HP. He's parlayed, but it might not be okay. Flash was burnt. Irrelevant. Solo kills Oscar.
I can flash on him.
Yeah, I think good.
Speed you up.
Look.
Yeah, you get stunned. Nice. Oh, go check.
You can go.
Dash W, okay?
Oh,
Dash W.
look.
Oh, they're trolling.
So you
Look at me, guys.
Yeah, I can help. You play.
Tres.
Yeah, guys, go now. Let's start.
Nice.
Go now. We just kill all.
Nice.
Go.
You can fight it.
Yeah. 1 HP.
Nice.
No equalizer for him, and here comes Noah. I had terrible timing on that question, but the Moonlight Vigil is huge combo with the Gale Force. 2 quick kills to Fnatic.
Look, Rumble CC.
Look, Rumble.
Rumble set. Trundle here.
Yes, there's no jump.
I think that's we win.
We can end mid.
Yes. I'm looking on Viego, okay? Guys, Viego.
Yeah, I flash.
Zaya, we win.
Nice.
Punish it. They've got a flash hook on Nautilus. Mercer's going to face check it. That should be a kill. There's the hook. Mercer locked up. Cleanses away with Breath of Light, trying to get away, but Crowny diving in. Mercer down above. The second kill of the game. A bloodthirsty support. And the Inferno trigger in from Crowny. Flash away from Jankos.
Just do it and we can flash. Look there.
Keep it.
Nice. Keep fighting. Nice, get. Chase.
Just it. Okay, Kaisa. I'm ready.
Everything.
Samira. Kaisa carries this. You guys win. You guys help. Nice, guys. No flash.
Look Samira.
Samira, yeah. Another view. Nice.
Baron secured by Heretics, and now the fight begins. But this is way too late from BDS. They just walk into their depths.
Okay, I'm ready. Come Samira.
Nice, guys.
Good job, guys.
Well played.